90% of ecom brands struggle with cash flow, and after times they don't even know why. So most don't even realize until it's too late. You might be making millions in sales, but if your cash is always tied up, stuck in inventory, getting eaten by ad costs, your business is gonna die. So in this video, I'm going to explain why 90% of ecom brands have terrible cash flow and how to fix it. So stick around. The first problem, your cost of acquisition are too high, right? Most ecom brands bleed a lot of money out because of several things that are outside of their control. For example, putting everything back into Facebook, TikTok, or Google without realizing your ad cost is too high, right? So if you're running a business and, for example, if your CAC, if your cost per acquiring customers is, let's say, $40, and COGS, COGS, cost of goods and services, is maybe $90. When you think about it, because it is costing you $40 to acquire a customer, you might be thinking, oh yeah, I still have $50 left. What you forget is how much it costs you to make the products, then how much it costs you to ship the product. And then do not forget, this consistently rises because of several things, right? Especially in a competitive industry, there's constant bidding war, right? So you can't afford to spend the same amount of money as a brand that has $1 billion in backing or in funding, right? So this is something that is outside of your control. And that's one big issue that most e-com brands face. They have so many things that are outside of their control, and it leads to them consistently battling with cash flow. But don't worry, in this video, I'm going to explain to you why it happens and how you can fix it. Now, the first solution would be to increase your AOV, which is average order value. So let's say you were running a supplement brand. One of my mentees has a supplement brand, right? So his supplement brand enhances better brain cognition for you to be able to think better, execute better, which is like for you to focus and for you to feel less stressed. If you were selling that and on average it costs you 100, or you're selling it for $100, right? But if it is costing you maybe $35 to get the product, it costs you $35 to get the product. Now it costs you $30 to acquire customers, right? It costs you $30. So now you might be thinking, oh well, I still have $35 left. But that is nothing farther from the truth. Why? Because when you look at logistics, when you think of your operational expenses, all of this eats into how much is left. So your profit margins are thin. However, if you decided to do two things, if you decided to create a bundle, so now on average, maybe you have 100 customers this month, but when you sell the bundle, maybe 20% of them end up buying, and you decide to sell a bundle of 3 for $250, right? Now you have 20 people, so you have a 20% take rate. Suddenly, you have an extra $5,000 you generate from just 20 people. This instantly increases how much you make, right? And you could also do cross sales. Cross sales is selling something that's either complementary or adjacent to the product that you're selling. Since you're selling something that is a supplement to other people, you might add that brain supplement. The second largest brain is your gut, right? That's why they say your gut instinct. So you could sell a gut product to these people, a gut supplement to these people. So let's say your gut product is maybe $70. Your gut product is $70. If you end up selling, because it is complementary to what these people are buying anyways, if you feel stressed with your brain, you also feel nervous. But if this helps calm their nervous system, it's supplementary, it works, right? So now you have an extra 20%. Now, do not forget, you still have your bundle, but you still have 20% of them that ends up buying. So now 20 people times 70, you still made an extra $1,400 on these people, right? So with just increasing your cross-sell and bundles, you made $6,400 on the same amount of customers. This is the number one way that you could easily stay profitable, by increasing how much people who have already spent money with you are spending with you, right? Now, you want to focus on organic content. The issue with most brands is they are monodirectional. They just spend money on ads, and when you spend money on ads, you do not have any assets. Because the moment you turn off your ads, or if your ad account was banned, boom, you're out of business, right? So to reduce your cost per acquisition, right, cost of acquiring customers, focus on organic content, influencers, and UGC ads, so you're not 100% reliant on paid traffic. And then you want to leverage retargeting and emails or SMS flows. It's cheaper to sell to past customers than to find new ones. For example, if you add 1,000 existing customers and you decide to sell to them, and let's say you had just 20% of your customers end up spending an extra $200 with you, now you have $40,000, because 20% times 200, this is 200 people, so 200 by 200 is $40,000. So you made an extra $40,000 from these people who have already bought from you. Easy money, isn't it? This is how you stay profitable, but that's just one out of many. Another problem you're facing is you're spending a lot of money when it comes to acquiring your products. But did you know you could negotiate with your suppliers or manufacturers? A big reason is you have to pay upfront, then you have to wait 30 to 60 days to get paid for your product, because your manufacturers require you to pay upfront. But you could negotiate with your suppliers and ask for net 30, net 60, or even net 90 times. Now, for those of you who do not know what that means, you could pay net 30 means after 30 days, net 60 means after 60 days, and net 90 means after 90 days. So you order from this person and you bargain with them that, hey, you know what, I've already spent money with you guys before. Can you agree to me paying you in the next 60 days after we've recouped our investment on the product? If you've developed a great relationship, they would agree to that. And that way, you lower your initial upfront costs and you get money, and then you can reinvest that money into the business, right? So use inventory financing or revenue-based financing to get cash without losing equity. So you could also finance against the value of the stock that you currently have, and most people don't even know that. Well, I'm generous. Call me Santa Claus. I'm teaching you how you could make more money with it. So you could also find a co-packer or fulfillment partner that offers credit terms to reduce your upfront costs. These are ways in which you could stay profitable as an e-com brand. Now, another problem is inventory is tying up your cash. Most times, most people spend a lot of money upfront, so they have money sitting in the warehouse. So if you've got $200,000 sitting in a warehouse, that's dead cash, right? Ordering too much inventory too soon kills e-com brands, because your money is stuck in products that aren't selling fast enough. The solution, you need to consistently forecast, right? You need to avoid ordering on your gut feeling and use historical data and trends. You might think, oh, you know, someone is going to buy this, right? But in reality, this has been selling more. So instead of just ordering a ton of this, why don't you avoid that and use your data to know that this is what is selling, right? So sell excess inventory fast. You could run a sale, well, or you could run a bundle offer for the products that you have, and then you need to test with smaller batches before committing to a large order. And that's one of the things that I teach members of my private community Ecom accelerator, that you don't have to tie up a lot of cash upfront when you're selling something. Now, another problem is you have no cash reserves, and this is one of the biggest reasons why most e-com brands die off. The problem, if Meta bans your ad accounts tomorrow, how long could you go? How long could your business survive? Most e-com brands are one bad month away from shutting down because they keep zero reserves. But the smart ones, the ones who learn from me, you keep at least 2 months of operating costs in cash. You open a business credit line, especially for those of you who are in America. I say it, you have zero reason to be broke if you're American. Open a business credit line before you need it. So if things go south, you have a backup, and you want to automate a profit first system where a percentage of every sale goes into a saving fund. If you've not read the book Profit First by Abdul-Qawiyy, I don't know what you're doing if you're a business owner. You need to have consistent cash reserves. But let's dive deeper into it. Now, another problem that most people face is you're selling on just one platform, right? So if 100% of your sales comes from one source, whether it's Meta Ads, Shopify, or Amazon, you're at risk. Cash flow issues hit hardest when your revenue stops suddenly. The solution, you need to expand to Amazon. For those of you who are still stuck on D2C, expand to Amazon, TikTok Shop, or retail partnerships so you're not reliant on just one source. Use wholesale deals to bring in large cash injections instead of small one-off sales. And then you need to launch high-ticket bundles and limited edition drops to drive higher revenue per sale. And I'm going to explain that to you real quick, right? So imagine this, right? Let's say this was the whole market, and this is the only market share that you can capture. So now let's assume that this is 1 billion. The whole market is 1 billion. But this small market size that you can capture is 200 million. The smartest thing to do will be to create a limited edition piece of what you sell and only sell 1,000 at a time. You know why? When you sell 1,000 at a time, even though you have access to 200 million market share, that increases the demand of the 1,000 that you have, right? Now, people are willing to spend a lot of money, and this is literally the same thing that automobile brands do. Create what? They call it LE, limited edition. They sell limited edition because it drives cash injections, CI. It drives cash injections into the business, right? And you can command what? More price. So what you want to do is sell in drops, but that's for private clients of mine. Another problem you're facing is, like I said, so the root of all your problems when you are stuck with cash flow issues is you have low margins. Even if you're eating 1 million in revenue, if your profit margins are low and you have no repeat customers, your cash will always dry up, right? If you have inventory bloat, you need a leaner inventory strategy where your money works for you, not against you. And lastly, no safety nets. The biggest difference between struggling brands and eight-figure brands, liquidity. Eight-figure brands have cash set aside for slow months, add shutdowns and emergencies, right? And single revenue source. This is self-explanatory. So how to build a cash flow positive e-com business? Optimize spend. You need to focus on reducing ad spend and increasing profit margins. You need to negotiate terms, manage inventory, build cash reserves, and diversify your channels. So this is how you can unlock the power of inventory management, forecast demand, self-explanatory, sell excess, and test before you commit. Then negotiate with your supplier and build cash reserves, right? Have at least 2 months reserves of cash. Open a line of credit in the USA, preferably if you're based in the USA. Have a profits first system. So now it's time to take control of your cash flow. If you don't fix cash flow, it doesn't matter how much you make. I'm not one of those guys who tells you, I make $1 million in a month. I don't care if you make $1 million in a month if all you keep is $100,000. Have healthy profit margins, right? So I hope you found value in this. And if you found value in this, definitely check out the last video that I made where I go in depth into explaining how you can stay profitable building an e-commerce brand. I'll see you in the next video.